Right, so welcome back. We're going to continue on with these financial maths example questions. So in this one, we have Jordan Belfort. He puts €10,000 into a savings account, and he has 13,160 in that same savings account 7 years later. So that's after all the interest. And the question is, what was the interest rate in the account? All right. So as always, we're going to start with our formula. So I'll write F is equal to P by 1 plus I to the power of T. So where F is the future value, which is 13,160. P is the present value, so how much he has at the start, which is 10,000. I is what we're looking for, okay, so we don't know what the interest rate is. Interest rate. And then T is the time, is 7 years. So I'm going to put all those numbers in. So we have 13,160 is equal to 10,000 multiplied by 1 plus I to the power of 7. And we need to somehow find I in all of this. Okay, so this is kind of a specific method that you need to learn off almost on how to get I out of this kind of indices thing here. It is a little bit of a weird one the first time you see it, but it's just something you need to get used to, because there's another question in financial maths that you have to do the same thing. So it's a kind of specific method to get rid of the indices, and we'll look at doing that now. But anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 10,000. So we're going to get 13,160 divided by 10,000, and that's just going to be equal to 1 plus I to the power of 7. Right? So that just gets rid of the 10,000 in front of this, and we're left with, what number do we have here? Left with 1.316 is equal to 1 plus I to the power of 7. So here's where the kind of tricky part comes in. So you need to get rid of this to the power of 7 up here. So you know, in other questions we might have squared both sides in inequalities or things like that. So you can square both sides of an equation, yeah? So it's going to be similar to that, except we're not going to be squaring it. We're going to, I'll go orange, okay? We're going to raise both sides. So I'm going to say both sides to the power of 1 over 7. Okay, so you rarely have seen something like that before. The reason we pick to the power of 1 over 7 is, so if we get 1.316 to the power of 1 over 7 is equal to, and then it's 1 plus I to the power of 7, and that's to the power of, I'll put another bracket around, 1 over 7. So what happens is the 7 here and the 1 over 7, they're going to cancel out, alright? So the 7 and the 1 over 7 cancel out, and basically what we're left with then is, go over here, 1.316 to the power of 1 over 7 is equal to 1 plus I. And now we're left with quite a nice, easy formula. We just need to move the 1 over to the other side, and then we have I. Okay, so the whole reason you're going to put both sides to the power of 1 over 7 is to get rid of that to the power of 7, that one there, and so we can get I on its own, so we can isolate I. So our final answer then is going to be I is equal to 1.316 to the power of 1 over 7 minus 1, and that's going to give us that I is equal to 0.04, and then there's going to be loads of other numbers after that, but it says to the nearest whole number, so then the nearest integer is I is equal to 4%, and that is our interest rate. Okay, so the trickiest bit there is just putting both sides to the power of 1 over 7. Besides that, it should be okay. Yeah, one thing you need to know is you need to divide across by whatever number's in front of it here first. So you need to get rid of the 10,000 or whatever number the P is, so that it's just one number is equal to another thing. Yeah, so you can't have 10,000 times this. But once you get that trick down, the rest of it's okay, just to the power of 1 over 7 on both sides. So that's what I was talking about, the kind of little trick, and we're going to see that one more time when we talk about monthly interest rates, but for now that's it. So just try to get that into your head, and we'll look at a second example question now. So here's our second question. You want to save up to buy a car if the car you want costs €1,000. Sorry, that says add-in instead of and you have €800. How many years do you have to keep your money in a savings account with 4% interest until you have enough? So we have 1,800, 4% interest, and then how many years? Okay, so this is our future value, this is our present value, this is our t, and this is our I. In this case, we're looking for t, how many years. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write out the formula. F is equal to p by 1 plus I to the power of t. So we're looking for this t. It's a power or an index or an exponent, or whatever you want to call it. So that means if we want to get that power down, we're going to need to use logs. Okay, so if you want to revise on logs, we have some videos on logs that I recommend watching, because I'm not going to explain the logs bit of the maths too well here. I'm just going to explain how to get the t down. So if you want to revise on logs, watch those videos. If you haven't done logs yet, then this won't make much sense to you, so maybe you should just come back to it after you've covered logs. Anyway, I'll fill in the numbers. So we have f is equal to 1000, p is equal to 800, and we have 1.04 in here, all to the power of t. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is you have to get rid of the 800 if you want to use logs. So it's going to be 1000 divided by 800 is equal to 1.04 to the power of t. You need to get rid of that first. That's going to give us 1.25 is equal to 1.04 to the power of t. I'm going to take log of both sides, so log base 10. So it's going to be log 1.25 is equal to log of 1.04 to the power of t. That's the same thing as log of 1.25 is equal to t times log of 1.04. So remember, with logs you can take the power down, and then finally we're going to have that t is equal to log of 1.25 divided by log of 1.04, and then we're going to finally get that answer. Gives us 6 years. Okay, so it'll give us 5.67, right? So that means you're just going to round it up, because after 5 years you won't have enough money. After 6 years you will. So the way you're going to check that is, I guess, just by checking it. So we're going to say is equal to 6 years. So we're going to be round up, and so we'll look at the numbers again. We have 1000, p is equal to 800, t is equal to 6, and 4 is equal to I. So that's all the numbers. I'm going to scroll over here. I'll go through that again. I don't think I explained it super well. So if you want to check the answer, okay, so we're going to write that here. We're going to have check the answer. So after you get your answer, just put it back into the formula. So we have f is equal to p by 1 plus I to the power of t. So we want to find out if we have, okay, so if we have 800 euro at 1.04, so 4% interest for 6 years, how much is that worth? So how much is f? And if it's bigger than 1000, then we're right, because you have enough money to buy the car then. If it's smaller than 1000, then we've made a mistake somewhere. So f is equal to, stick all of that into your calculator, and you're going to find that it's equal to 1012.26 euro, which means the answer of 6 years is right. Okay, so that's how to get the time. So again, that's kind of a logs method, how to get the time until you have enough money, or until whatever the question is asking you. And the first one was how to get I. So you had this weird, put both sides to the power of 1/7. So those are kind of the harder problems you're going to get in financial maths. That's before we move on to the sequences and series bit. But if it's just one line, one or two lines, then yeah, then they're the two hard questions you're going to get. So watch the video again if you're not so certain on them. Hopefully that makes sense. You can ask any questions you want down in the comments. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the videos, and to tell your friends about them. So we'll see you in the next video, where we're going to start looking at how to get monthly interest, so instead of yearly interest. So that's kind of the same question as this, it's just in another way. Okay, so we'll see you next time.